Welcome to the driver's seat. Ever since the RX was introduced about 20 years ago, it has been the best-selling vehicle for Lexus. You could call it a rock star. Maybe it's better if you call it a ballad star, more like a Neil Diamond. The bottom line is that people who buy the RX love the RX because it's reliable, it's dependable, it's easy to drive. It's pretty much perfect except for one thing, until now. Introducing the RX350L with a third row seat. So what the L does is add 4.4 inches for $4,400. So think of it as $1,000 per inch. You get the third row. So from the B pillar forward, it's identical to the RX350. All the magic happens back here. Let's take a look at the third row seats. Even though the RX350L is a little bit heavier than its non-third row sibling, it drives pretty much the same. The extra weight doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. The RX350L drives a lot like the RX350. Yes, it's longer, it's a little bit heavier, but it pretty much drives the same. You have the same 3.5 liter V6 engine that's been reworked several times, but has been in the RX now for about 10 years. It now has an 8-speed automatic transmission instead of a 6, which is a lot nicer. You get a little better fuel economy, a little quieter ride. Fuel economy has not been stellar, definitely under 20 miles per gallon combined, and that's just been normal driving, a nice mix of highway and city. The car is good. It's comfortable. You have a nice seating position. You have good visibility. The seats are good. The tech is a little bit outdated. We don't have Apple CarPlay in this one, but it's coming because they have it in other Lexus models now, finally. You have a 12.3-inch infotainment screen, which is recessed back, very nice, but you also have this kind of controller, this joystick controller that is not great. When you drive the new Acura RDX, for example, I think they did a much better job, but it works. Overall, it's easy to see why people keep buying these cars over and over again. A lot of repeat buyers for the RX. Like I said, the one thing the RX has been missing until now has been that third row, and now you have that option. I still think that the regular RX is going to outsell this one because I see the majority of the people buying RXs as like empty nesters that may not need that third row. But there are some young families that really like the Lexus brand and need that third row. So for them, I see this filling a void. If you're an enthusiast, or as I call Euro snob, it's going to be Audi, BMW, or Mercedes for you. This car, no matter what Lexus does, is never going to appeal to you. But you know, there is a whole nother side of the market. People that like this front-wheel drive biased, comfortable, crossover, very car-like drive. And for those people, they'll always buy RXs and MDXs and XC90s. So it's there are two completely segments, in my opinion, even though this car does go head up against those vehicles. There's a new BMW X7 coming soon with a third row. So that segment just keeps growing and growing, and you'll have a lot of options. But if you really want Japanese quality at this price point, you really have three options: Infiniti, Acura, and Lexus. What I don't like about the Infiniti is that CVT transmission. It just kills that car. The MDX is good, but getting a little dated. We recently drove that car, spent quite a bit of time in it. But there's a new MDX coming that is going to have the same styling and technology as the RDX we just drove, and I anticipate that's going to really give this car a run for the money. One could make the argument that Lexus waited too long to introduce the L version of the RX. During that time, vehicles like the MDX from Acura, the XC90 from Volvo, and the QX60 from Infiniti have really taken over that segment, but I think Lexus is in a good position. So what you have back here are power folding flat third row seats, and depending on which dimensions you look at, there's more or less cargo room than the competitors. I would encourage you to look at all the vehicles in this segment. There's even the GMC Acadia, for example, and see how they fit into your lifestyle. Depending on what you're looking for, some are going to have a better configuration, better packaging than the other, but you really can't argue with the RX. I'm Ron Dorn. We'll see you next time on The Driver's Seat. I didn't say thanks for watching.